My dad took his own life when I was 6. I had trauma when I was a kid growing up, not from my close family, but other. And I had bullying in high school, like lots of people get, and I wanted to fit in. I didn't feel okay with myself. Like I had no self-esteem, I had no self-worth. So I was in addiction since I was like in grade 9. And I struggled with that for a few years, and I struggled with like having unhealthy relationships. And I got into a treatment center. I got pregnant when I was like, a month and a half clean off substances. So I went to a transition house for women fleeing abuse after I went to treatment because things got really rocky. And actually a friend of mine, her mom, told me about the YWCA housing.
I wasn't living a fulfilled life. I've always been, I would say, an extrovert. I had a good life, but I wasn't happy with my life, even though I had a good life. My home life was a mess because I was with someone, but I was a single mom. So I did everything for the kids. At the time, I didn't even think I was being emotionally abused because I thought to myself, it doesn't happen to people like me. I'm educated, I have a master's degree, I have a good job, but I was so unhappy. I was so stressed, mentally, emotionally. And then there was a series of events happening, and I was thinking, this is not the life I want for me and my kids. I don't want my son thinking that this is how women should be treated. And then so I started planning on leaving. So I was talking to my friends and looking for a way out, and I found that I could come here through the express entry, come to Canada as a professional. And so I applied, and one night my ex came back and he went through my son's iPad, and he could see, because the iPad was linked to my phone, and he saw a screenshot of maybe a message from me to my friend saying this health had gone, and I just got some information I was going to leave. And he woke me up at about 1 a.m. and he said, we need to talk. I need to go through your phone. And he said, I'm going to smash this phone now. Everything you own comes from me. I own everything. So I took the house phone and I just said, I'm just going to call the cops now. And he said, you're threatening me? And I was like, no, you're threatening me. I need you to, and then he, again, his M55, his 6'2" or 6'3". So he took the phone from me and he smashed the phone. And I think at that point, just watching the kids see that, and I was really scared for my life, and because people, you don't know what people will do when they're enraged.
I remember, I'd always check the YWCA website, and I remember finding out that there was an apartment building being built in North Vancouver. It was totally God in the moment, and it was just like that voice that it's like, check the YWCA website today. And I checked the YWCA website, and it makes me emotional. I checked the YWCA website, and it said that they were opening, they had the new application opening or whatever for it. And I saw it and I was like, oh my God. So I applied right away. And then to hear that I got it, it was like, I couldn't believe that, I got to have this experience for my daughter, because I know how important the first few years of a kid's life are. If I didn't have the YWCA housing, I would be bouncing from place to place to place. I couldn't afford it. I probably would have ended up in another abusive relationship because I couldn't afford to live on my own. It made it so I could work on myself, that I could get my self-esteem and self-worth and go to school and get the counseling that I needed to be the person that I wanted to be. It made me feel like I could breathe.
I connected with the YWCA in 2018 November when I moved here. I went to drop off my son at school. I have 2 boys. There's a Strong Start program there. So I was just talking to another mom, and so I told her I just moved. And she said, okay, have you heard of the YWCA? And I said, no, what is it? And she said, well, I know there is a support group for single moms. I think that might benefit you. Being at the group at the time, I went in there and I wanted to be open, and I think it's the best thing that happened to me. I had no one else to talk to, and they just knew. It was, everybody there just understood.
I love connecting with people who are struggling, and my hopes and plans for the future is to have a permanent job and helping moms who are struggling and families who are struggling, because I went through it, and a lot of people judge you and they don't, you did that to yourself. You don't need help. Like, why would I help you? So the YWCA, like my experience was, there was no judgment. It didn't matter my background, where I came from. Like they're there to love and support me and my daughter. And I want to be able to like be that person that maybe that people don't have a person in their corner that they can lean on, or just know that you're not alone. Yeah.
My plan for the future is to continue to grow in my career, and I want to be somewhere in the very near future, a donor. I want to support the YWCA. I want to impact lives the way they have impacted on my own life. So I would like to support in whatever way I can. There are so many programs out there. I know, there's from helping single moms access resources for going back to school, like education, to career advice, to housing. There are so many ways you can help. There are so many women who need help out there.